back, YouTubers and supporters. If you're new to my channel, please subscribe and stay tuned for more crazy content. Don't forget to turn on notifications, like this video, share this video with other people, and let's get straight into this video. Now, the purpose of this video is to basically debunk parts.audiusa.com and to showcase how interchangeable are these Audi parts from all the years and all sorts of models. As you see right here, this is my 2013 Audi A4 B8.5 front-wheel drive CVT with the used to be CAEB engine. Now it has the 2018 Audi A4 B9 Quattro CYMC EA888 Gen 3 2.0 engine instead of the old Gen 2 engine. It has a Gen 3 engine. The purpose of this video is not to talk about the project, it's just to talk about how interchangeable the parts are. I'm using my original 2013 Audi A4 engine mounts with the European version bracket for this type of engine for the B8.5 chassis. The same thing goes on the other side. And here are the part numbers for those two brackets. Now, if you look at this, I actually bought a 0304 Motorsport, which is a new engine mount for my B8.5 A4. It's just simply going to replace the stock ones that I have, which are torn right here. So here's another example. This is a 2018 Audi Q5 2.0T engine oil pan. And when I looked at the part number, it says it does not fit the 2.0T Audi A4 engines or A5 and so on, because that last number or last digit or last letter at the end, which I will show you right here, is completely different from what the one that comes in this car. I had to buy this one since there's a crack on the pan. Now, we won't know if this actually physically fits, but the last couple digits or the last letter of the part number is usually just a small revision from the original part, meaning it should theoretically bolt on. The reason why parts.audiusa.com says it only fits for the Q5 is because I'm pretty sure they just only tested it on the Audi Q5 and not the A4, A5 and so on. Maybe the Q5 needed a small revision, who knows. But we will see if this bolts on perfectly fine with no issues and no leaks soon. And now let's take a look at the rods. They actually have the same part numbers from 2009 up to 2018 2.0 engines, the same part number. So I cannot wait to be using these forged integrated engineering rods for my 2018 Audi A4 engine. Although now the pistons, I am not entirely sure. I took a big risk on this one and we're gonna have to compare, because apparently the part numbers are just different. But theoretically, it's the same kind of engine. It's a Generation 3, Generation 2 that should have theoretically the same parts. I know the Generation 3 has a dual solenoid, which means that the camshafts and the engine internals may be a little bit different in the valves. Nevertheless, these are the integrated engineering male pistons that I've purchased. And here's the part number for the Generation 2 engine. But integrated engineering says it's for the Gen 3 engines too. So we'll find out really soon if it works perfectly, because it seems like it has never been tested before on the Generation 3 A4 2.0 engines. Only the GTIs and the A3s and so on. And now here's another myth debunked. Apart from the B8 S4 interior installed in my 2013 A4, which is pretty simple, I do have the Bang & Olufsen 2018 Audi A4 speakers installed in this car. So that's it. That is the part number. That is the 2018 Audi A4 Bang & Olufsen speaker installed in my 2013 A4 B8.5. And this is the original one, the stock one that came with my Audi A4. As you can see, this one has notches that go inside some of these holes that basically just latch the speaker to the car. So in the 2018 A4, it was actually a simple, easy bolt-on, and it required a little bit of easy customization. There was probably like a notch or two on the speaker that physically did not fit in there. So I had to sand it down, grab my Dremel, sand it down, and then once I put the speaker in there, it smoothly bolted up there, and the plug fits perfectly. Now, on the other hand, I'm gonna have to figure out the amplifier on this car and the center speaker and the subwoofer, since one, they do not physically fit, and two, the plugs are a bit different. Now let's take a look at the steering wheel. Right now I have the 2018 Audi A4 B9 flat bottom steering wheel with the circular airbag. A lot of people thought that this steering wheel does not physically fit because of the pattern inside. So if this is your first time removing the airbag and steering wheel of your Audi A4 B8.5 for example, you will see this kind of pattern of the steering wheel. And if you're looking online and you want to buy a steering wheel like this but it has a different pattern and you have no idea if it bolts on, well, I just debunked another myth, because this steering wheel is a direct bolt on, including the connectors from each of the airbags, which is crazy, and I'll show you that in just a second. We have the original Audi A4 bolt right here, and it bolts on. You can see the little two notches right here, perfectly fits. This is the melted and shorted out plug of the B9 A4. If we plug it in here, you hear that click? That's it. It's literally simple as connecting the cables. Obviously, if you're connecting the airbag, you should do it with the car's power off and the battery disconnected, so you don't take a chance and let the airbag explode. Now, I have tried to use this adapter that I bought from Russia, I believe. I paid $100 on eBay for this. Basically, it converts these functions of the buttons to work on these type of cars, because I believe the B9 A4 has a LIN interface. It converts the LIN interface into the CAN bus interface of my B8.5, which allows me to use all these buttons and functions, which is awesome. The airbag, I'm not entirely sure if you click it in the horn roll will work, or if the airbag will deploy if an accident would ever occur, God forbid. Now, I won't be able to test out the airbag because this wire is completely shorted out, melted, and won't work. I wish I had a functioning and working and perfect B9 airbag to test out this theory and to make sure it's 100% compatible. I'm not entirely sure now, but I believe you could use that B9 airbag, and I hope no programming or coding for that airbag is required to get that airbag and the functions working with this adapter. But let's show you this. Nothing is working right now with this special adapter that I bought off eBay. So now let's plug in the B8.5. Now let's show you how these buttons are working. Okay, so that wild whatever star that is, it gradually increases the volume quickly instead of scrolling, and the mute button works. Now let's do the volume. Volume up and down works. So now let's do this. Click OK, and as you can see, it gives you the menu right here. You could scroll up and down. Now let's go back, and now let's go through the other menus. Oh, that one just takes you up and down. How did I get to the other menus? It's view. Aha, we got the phone book. You click it. Click it. There you go. I got the lap timer right there. What other functions can I do here? Nope. Still new to this, so let's keep continuing. If we click navigation, it takes me to the navigation screen right here. Well, because I have the RS Nav aftermarket radio, that's what it does, which is awesome. Now if we click the voice, nothing. The call, nothing. Let's go back to the Audi MMI and then click the call, click the voice. So if I hold the call, nothing. If I hold the voice, okay, so it takes me to the aftermarket radio. So I think that's about all the functions you could do with this special adapter that I bought off eBay with the B9 steering wheel, but that's awesome. So that means theoretically you could get a TTRS, the RS4, the Audi R8 steering wheel and have most, if not all, the functions of the steering wheel operate correctly on your vehicle. If it has a push start button, that would be an interesting thing to work with. I would like to have the R8 steering wheel in this car. And let's get on to the AC unit right here. It actually, this is the aftermarket cable that plugs into the aftermarket radio of my car. Since the plug, that's a long story, whatever. You can watch this video and it explains in further detail. But these are the same plugs in the B8.5, and I plugged it in to the B9 air control unit and nothing is working. Nothing is powering on. So I believe that either the pitting is a little bit different and or the LIN capabilities of this AC unit will not work on the CAN bus, or if I'm missing a couple modules for the AC, then it should work. And as well as if I plug in my VACCOM to the OBD port of my car, I could probably manually program this or using some other software and programming tool to get this AC operating correctly in the car. And now other minor things. This doesn't physically fit, don't worry about that. It's the parking brake switch and the trunk latch switch from the B9 that works perfectly in this car. It's just a simple plug and play. Now for this next video I'm going to show you right now is basically debunking the seats. All the front and back seats may actually fit in this car. Although the plugs may be different, you could do a little bit of splicing on the plugs to get the electronics to work, the motors, and you should be good to go using the B9 front split seats in the B8 and B8.5 and other models like the Audi Q5 and A5 and so on. Since so many people have been asking me, hey, I want to buy your 2018 Audi A4 seats, but I don't know if they fit on my car. Therefore, the B8, B8.5, A4. Today, I'm installing the B9 A4 seats, and I found a few issues, although the fitment is perfect, but let me show you something. The red connector right here, it does not physically fit. You can either grab the connector from the B9, do a little bit of splicing, and it should work. The black connector fits, but I believe this airbag connector will not fit either. And now if we put it into place, because so many people wanted this, I'm doing it for them. I'm not liking this, but I don't want to take the whole seat out again. So let's do this quickly. You can tell that the mounting point for the B8.5 hole is right in there. The triple screw will fit in that spot perfectly on the B9 seat on both sides. Now if we go into the front, obviously I can't move my seat back because the black connector isn't connected in to give the seat power. Therefore you need to do a little bit of splicing to get that connector to work. But if we go all the way in here, you can see that it's perfectly aligned. All you gotta do is be able to move the seat back to screw in those two triple squares. Like literally it's a perfect fitment. But you just gotta do a little bit of customization. So this seat will fit in a B8/B8.5, A4, S4, and so many more models. Although I'm not entirely sure about the rear, because this is how the rear is. I believe that the seats, they're a little bit more low, but it compensates so because these are a little bit higher, the backrest. Therefore, it should theoretically be the same height as these seats. And now for another small little detail, I'm using the B9 A4 bracket of the rear seats to keep the foldable rear seats held in place. I didn't want to spend $80+ on the B8.5 bracket, and I might as well use something from another car. Although it doesn't bolt on perfectly, I had to bend this a little bit forward to get the right fitment. Unfortunately, the two rear bolts do not go in. I would like to cut this piece out right here, just the top portion, and bend it back into place so I could bolt on. For something really erratically crazy, the B9 headlight actually works on the B8.5. I got it to work for a couple minutes. Unfortunately, I have shorted it out due to the fact that since this car was bought at auction, the whole headlight was filled with water. And I did clean it out before I plugged it in, but it seems like it was already on thin ice before it was all corroded and rusted, as you can see. And here are more of the components of the headlights. Look at all that rust. So unfortunately I didn't grab a video, but the headlight actually turned on. The turn signals were actually working. The high beams and the daytime running lights were actually working, which is crazy. It's simple plug and play. Although we have not debunked everything, this was a lot I've debunked so far, including the seats and the engine. And there's still a lot more to go, like the Audi virtual cockpit display for the instrument cluster. I would love to get that on the B8.5, and we could try the B9 infotainment system and see if that works. I really don't want that, that's so limiting. I like the aftermarket RS Nav B8.5 radio so much better. And there's a bunch more other things we still gotta debunk with this project. This project is basically defining all the odds and basically debunking parts.audi.com because they haven't tested and they won't test it, and they have no reason to test the B9 parts on a B8.5. It's just not worth the time or money or resources. But anyways, it's for you guys now to experiment with these parts and have fun at it. Anyways, I hope you guys enjoyed this video. Please subscribe, turn on notifications, share this video, like this video, give it a thumbs up, and I'll see you in the next one. Peace out.